Hello and welcome to today's episode of Soul Medicine with me, Carolyn Sykes. And today's very special guest is Yvonne Parker. Yvonne is a hypnotherapist in Swindon, but as we all are, she's many, many more magical things than just one. So we're going to have a good conversation today and find out all about you, Yvonne, and everything that you do. Welcome.
Great. Hello, Carolyn. Lovely to be here.
Lovely to have you. So tell us a bit about you and your how you got into what you're doing today.
Yeah, of course. My journey into hypnotherapy was that I actually had some hypnotherapy myself a long time ago, back in my 20s, for a habit that I had. So I know the power of hypnotherapy. And I was previously an accountant, and I just thought, I don't want to be an accountant for the rest of my life. And I really love all things holistic. I love a lot of different therapies. So I started looking and seeing what was available, what actually piqued my interest. And it was a conversation actually with my acupuncturist that I see about hypnotherapy that sparked the interest into hypnotherapy. And then once that was sparked, it was like I was looking into it and how I could study it, learn it, and go from there.
Yeah, so a lot of the women that come for acupuncture are in that similar kind of position. They want something more fulfilling to
Yeah.
do with the next half of their life, really.
Yeah.
So, what was it that your acupuncturist said that really piqued your interest into hypnotherapy? Do you remember?
I think her daughter actually had trained as a hypnotherapist, and it was just the possibilities. The possibilities were limitless of how the mind works and how you could help people. And it was having that toolbox of things that you could possibly give another person by using different modalities that would then help empower them to help themselves. And that's what I loved. I just thought, actually, I want to do something that helps people.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm.
So how has it helped you? Like, how did you feel before when you were an accountant, and what's life look like today or feel like?
Oh, life's very different now. And for me, it was also a lifestyle choice as well. I was finding that I didn't have enough time to do the things that I wanted to do. One of those being traveling. And I thought, no, actually, I can do my own business. I never had my own business previously. I'd always been employed. And it gave me, doing the course actually gave me the confidence to step out there and be vulnerable. It allowed me to resolve some of my own issues because one of the things with training, as you probably know, is that you actually go through your own journey when you train in different modalities, and actually releasing some things that perhaps I've been holding on to that
Mm.
had maybe been a lack of confidence, anxiety, stress, all those things. And actually doing that through the training myself really helped me step into that role as a hypnotherapist. And yeah, it was life-changing for me.
Yeah. So like people who are listening that might be in this similar position where they're not sure what it is, but they're looking, hypnotherapy is a good option because it helps them remove a lot of their own blocks and
Yeah.
helps them to actually almost guarantee more success as a therapist themselves. But also, even if they choose a different modality or a different business altogether, hypnotherapy would be helpful for them to help them with their success blocks, would you say?
Oh, massively. Yeah, because I think because we can get into the subconscious mind, and that's where we operate from, I would say probably 95% of the time, we can get into all of those beliefs, all of those patterns, all of those habits on a much deeper level, to remove all of those blocks.
Yeah.
Find
So
out what
do
they
they
are.
need to know what they are, or do you find out?
No, I mean, sometimes you don't actually need to know what they are. Sometimes they will come forward when you go into your subconscious mind. And that's what I always say to my clients now. It's like, trust that actually your subconscious is going to go where it needs to resolve what it needs to. Because one of the things that my mentor and trainer said to me is the subconscious doesn't like unfinished business. And so it always wants to give you the answer.
Oh, good. I like that. Okay. Are you still there?
Yes.
Great. It froze for a sec. I thought, oh no. Yes. So it'll give you what it's ready to heal.
Yeah, and that's it. It's just allowing whatever it is to come forward, because you're always going to go to that place. It's always just, it's trusting. It's like, it's almost, you have to trust yourself that you're going to go where you need to
Mm.
resolve whatever is bothering you. And sometimes people come in and they don't actually know what's bothering them. They're like, I just don't feel myself, or, I know something's going on, but I really can't pinpoint what it is. And I just
Yeah.
say, that's fine, come, because your subconscious will probably tell you what's going on.
Yeah. Amazing. And how many sessions do clients generally have? Like, is it one, two, or do they do a course or?
Yeah, so depending on what the client is actually coming for, if it's deeper work where it might be relating to trauma or PTSD or something like that, I normally ask my clients to commit to 4 sessions with me. So
Mhm.
that's 8 hours of therapy because I tend to do longer sessions. Um, but it's getting them to commit to the process because it is a process that we need to go through. Um, you can resolve things very quickly when you can go to the right place. And sometimes clients they're done in 3 sessions, so again, I'm never going to do any more sessions than it feels right to do, whereas other clients might come for more sessions, but that might also be because they want to deal with multiple things. It might be that they actually like come in, they want to come for maintenance just to keep on top of their mental health. Or they want to explore a past life, or they want to just take time out for themselves. Yeah, the majority of people come for a course of treatment, but I also do one-off sessions, which is just as I said, you want to just take some time out and you just want to dive a little bit deeper to see what comes up.
Yeah, exactly. And you've got this toolkit as well. So they may resolve the initial issue with hypnotherapy, but as you just mentioned there, past life regression, you've got some other tools in your kit. Tell us a bit about
Yeah,
those.
absolutely. Yeah. So I also practice emotional freedom technique, which is called tapping as
I
well.
love that.
I love tapping. I think it's a great tool for people to use in the moment.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely an advocate of tapping.
Mm.
I also do something called EMDR, which is eye movement desensitizing and reprocessing.
Mhm.
Again, that uses bilateral stimulation to help people with trauma and PTSD. And most recently, I've added to my own toolbox by learning a technique called the blast technique, which has been developed by a guy called Nick Davis. And he realized that actually dealing with trauma, sometimes EMDR re traumatizes. And
Mm.
so by using this blast technique, it's very fast, it's very effective, but it's more nurturing around trauma and PTSD. And the client only has to relive it once.
Yeah.
So they don't have to keep going over the trauma again and again and again. And I've been using it recently with my clients, and the results so far have been amazing. So yeah, definitely a fan of this new blast technique that I've recently trained in. Because again, I wanted to add to my toolbox to be able to help my clients even more. I see a lot of people with trauma and PTSD. And so I wanted to be able to give them the best therapy possible.
Yeah. And I mean, let's talk about EFT for a second, because that is like crosses over with acupuncture, doesn't it? So it
Yeah,
uses the
massively.
acupuncture meridian system. So what
Yeah,
kind of things? So EFT stands for emotional freedom technique. And
it
what
does.
kind of things can the listeners help with? And I'm all about empowering the patient as well. So teaching them things they can do
Yeah,
themselves.
absolutely. So you can change how you feel about something. So if you were feeling particularly stressed about maybe something at work, maybe something at home, you could use emotional freedom technique, EFT, to acknowledge how you're feeling, um, and then let it go. And so
Brilliant.
you can change your state of how you're feeling. So, as I said, if you were coming in that you were very stressed, we would probably do some tapping around how do you want to feel instead? And for most people, it's probably calm that comes up, because they're feeling frazzled, they're feeling overwhelmed, they may be overthinking, everything's got on top of them, and they just want to go, that breathing out, and that big sigh of, but just feeling so much calmer about their situation. So
Mm.
you can take somebody from feeling very stressed to feeling calm very quickly with EFT.
Yeah, exactly. And it's tapping on acupuncture points around the face, isn't
It
it?
is, yeah, and the meridian energy lines. So yeah, there's 9 points that you
Mhm.
do, but actually, I always say to my clients, if you don't like to do the 9 points, then you could just tap on your collarbone, for example, and that has a really calming effect because each one represents a point in the body that's going to help you to release any emotion that you're feeling around that to let it go so that you can bring in it calms the amygdala down and therefore you go, yeah, I'm okay, I'm doing okay and I can go to my job today or I can go to my work today or I
Yeah,
can deal with the kids. They're screaming and shouting, but actually I can remain calm about this. So
exactly.
yeah, it's a
Yeah.
very empowering tool. And again, it's a bit like Marmite. It's not for everybody. I have clients that say, I really don't like that tapping thing. So again, I always say, right, okay, that's fine. If you don't like that, we'll do something else.
Mm.
But a lot of my clients absolutely love it and recognize how much of a change they notice in themselves. And what they like is the fact that they can do it at home.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I like about it as well, is that I can teach people how to do that themselves in between
Yeah,
sessions
mm,
and things. And what was overwhelming 5 minutes ago is now completely manageable.
absolutely. And that's
How
how quick
amazing
it
is
can be.
that?
Like you said, within 5 minutes, you can feel completely different.
Yeah, that's amazing. See if we could bottle that and sell it. We'd be millionaires.
I know, I know. I love the fact that actually some schools are now starting to do tapping with children, because actually
Excellent.
kids really love tapping.
Yeah, it's funny because I forget that I've got all these tools that I could be teaching my 5-year-old. But like
Yeah,
when I was pregnant, I was convinced that my baby, my little boy, was going to be some kind of monk. And because I'm his mother, I would be able to teach him to meditate and he'd be totally zen. And I'm like, no, it doesn't work like that, actually, especially when you're the mother. They don't listen to you as much. And also, he's 5. His nervous system is very yang. He's not going to sit for half an hour with me in stillness and silence, but he will lie down on the floor and I put his favorite teddy bear on his belly button and then he
yeah,
watches it go up and down with his
yeah.
breath and that he
So
can do that
easy.
for about a minute.
Yeah, and I think that's what tapping's really good with kids because it engages them. It's a bit like a game.
Yeah,
You can make it fun for them, and so they really like that, and they'll engage really well.
yeah,
Yeah, and again, it just helps calm them down. That they perhaps can go to school feeling a bit calmer. Or they can get through their exams. It's all those things that can really help with.
yeah, exactly. I'm interested to hear a bit more about the mind massage because I also do another therapy which is called access bars. I don't know if you've heard of that. Is
I
it
have.
similar to that? Is it different? What's the mind massage?
So my I called it a mind massage because I was finding that clients would come for a series of therapy and then they'd be like, yeah, I'm feeling a lot better. I'm feeling really great because I've looked at this and I've resolved this. And then sometimes they felt a bit cast adrift, that I've done my therapy, I don't know what to do next, or they were then integrating what they'd learned about themselves and then they might be struggling with the new version of them in that way. So I wanted a way of my clients coming to me where they could just pop in at any time, and I liken it to taking a sweeping brush through the mind and emptying all the clutter. um,
Mhm.
so it's just where you can do that deeper check-in with yourself through your subconscious. And it's like checking in with the filing cabinet of your mind. So people come for one-off sessions with these because again, they can just check in on themselves. They can talk about whatever they want to talk about. And it is having that safe space that you're not talking to your friend, you're not talking to your partner, you're not talking to your relative. And it's that non-judgmental space that just allows them to explore whatever they need to.
Mm.
Um, it, it, and again, they'll go to whatever they need to be able to do that. So some people come in that, they don't know how to speak to their wife or partner or husband about something. So again, it's okay, let's reframe that. Let's talk about language and communication styles.
Yeah,
Or it might be that we actually dive in and we see the mind as a filing cabinet and we go, okay, how many drawers has your filing cabinet got? Has it got three? Has it got four? Has it got two? They decide.
mm.
And then I say, okay, what does it look like? And they say, oh, actually, it's a bit messy. Everything's all over the place. So the process of then tidying that up, where they can get rid of stuff, they can just file it and tidy it up, really allows them just to allow their mind to put
Mm.
everything in order. So as I said, it is that decluttering process, as if you were going to go through our house and throw out stuff from a wardrobe. You know how the wardrobe looks afterwards. It looks really nice. It looks really calm. It looks, it's got that, everything's in the right place. That's
Yeah.
exactly what it does for your mind.
And you created that yourself.
Yeah, it was just, as I said, it was just, I realized that there was a gap for my
Mm.
clients. And that's why I called it a mind massage, that it was like, that you basically can massage your head to feel better and get it all out of your head. And as I said, clients bring the content that they want. If it's something
Yeah.
that's bothering them, something that keeps replaying for them. Again, if it's an unresolved decision maybe, or it's an unresolved problem that comes up for them, we can just concentrate on that one thing and be really specific to get that
Yeah.
resolved for them.
Amazing. Yeah, and like as we were talking about before we started the interview, it's like we as therapists see what's working, what's been done before, what's already been created, and how it could be made better. And we put our own experience and our own, insight and creativity and create our own kind of method almost when we've been in doing this for long enough, don't we?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, again, we talked about intuition
Mm.
before, and I think it's just intuitively almost like tapping into your client and what they need in the moment.
Yeah,
And so, that might be a particular type of therapy. It might be that actually I say to a client, do you know what? You're a bit out of balance. Come for a Reiki session instead, rather
yeah,
than hypnotherapy or rather than blast. And again, it just depends on what the person comes for as to what you feel that they might need, or they feel that they might need themselves. We're always listening and we're always learning, definitely from our clients.
yeah. Excellent. Okay, well, we've hit time now. So, in order for us to have enough time to play your song, which is Cyndi Lauper, Girls Just Want to Have Fun, we're going to say goodbye for now, but definitely invite you back for future conversations. And I'll put all of your contact information in the show notes so that anyone listening today can find you, contact you, and talk to you about your amazing services.
Oh, thank you, Carolyn.
You're welcome. Thank you so much for your time today, and we'll speak to you again very soon.
Yeah, I look forward to it.